Some families of the Great War never had answers. A telegram would arrive, missing in action, and that was all. For years, even decades, parents clung to fading hope, never certain whether their son was gone forever. This is a story of one of those men, a young Scottish medical student who gave up his studies to fight with the Gordon Highlanders, a man who vanished at Highwood during the Battle of the Somme, leaving his family in limbo for 12 long years. This is a story of Lance Sergeant Alexander James Gunn. Alexander James Gunn was born in 1895 in Halkirk, Caithness, the son of Alexander and Margaret Gunn. Bright and ambitious, he studied medicine at Aberdeen University, but his time there was short. When war came, he answered immediately, joined the 4th Battalion of the Gordon Highlanders. By 1916, he'd already showed enough promise to be promoted to Lance Sergeant. His battalion now faced the dreadful struggle of the Somme. On the 22nd of July 1916, the 4th Gordons held the line near Highwood. At 3:30 in the morning, British guns opened a bombardment, hammering the German defences throughout the day. At 1:30 a.m. on the 23rd, the order came, attack. Alexander went over the top with his men, charging across ground already strewn with the dead from earlier battles. They fought their way into the German trenches. The ground was taken, but at a terrible cost. 11 officers and 250 men were casualties in that single assault. When the lists were drawn up, Alexander was not among the survivors. He was reported missing in action, one of so many families left without answers. A telegram reached the Gunn household. Their son was reported wounded and missing. No further particulars. For his parents, it was unbearable uncertainty. Was he captured? Was he lying wounded somewhere? Or was he already gone? Aberdeen University published a memorial in June 1919, paying tribute to him both as a student and a soldier. In Gunn, the university has lost a student of whom she might well be proud. A sturdy Highlander from Caithness, he came up in the autumn of 1913, but his student days were destined to be short, for the outbreak of war found him mobilised with V Company. It spoke of his dedication, how even when recovering from wounds at home, he would spend his evenings training in full kit, desperate to return to his men. And finally, it remembered his last day. The Somme offensive in 1916 found him again in France, and at Highwood on the 23rd of July, he went over the parapet, never to return. He was just 21 years old. With no known grave, his name was added to the family headstone at home in Caithness, a place to grieve, but never true closure. And then, 12 years after Alexander had gone into battle, a telegram arrived. The body of a British sergeant of the 4th Gordons had been found near Highwood. When the remains were carefully exhumed, they discovered items that told the truth at last. His uniform, kilt, regimental badges, a piece of laboratory equipment marked with his initials, sergeant stripes, there could be no doubt. After 12 years of silence, Alexander Gunn had been found. He was reburied with honour at Serre Road Cemetery No. 2. On his headstone, his family chose the words, Ante diem perit sed miles sed pro patria. He died before his time, but as a soldier for his country. From the moment he vanished in 1916 to his rediscovery in 1928, Alexander's story is one of loss, hope, and finally, a measure of peace. For his family, The nightmare of uncertainty was lifted. They could finally lay him to rest, not just in stone at home, but in the soil of France among his comrades. If this story moved you, please like, share or subscribe. And let me ask you, over a century later, is it right to keep searching the battlefields to bring these men home to lie with their comrades? Or should they be left undisturbed where they fell? What do you think? Tell me in the comments, lest we forget. If you like listening to the stories of the history of those who came before, then please give the video a like and subscribe to keep updated about future videos of the history of those who came before.